Hi everyone, so today I'm here to go through my e-learning activity that I created on plant growth, and I wanted to include some activities within to talk about the components that make up a plant, how this transitions into creating a more sustainable environment. My intended audience for this activity was third grade students, and it should take them about 2 to 3 hours to complete by doing the research, quizzes, and note taking along with the infographic. The technology required for this is a Mac, PC, or any online source where they can access Canvas. Some of the learning objectives that I had for this activity was students being able to identify the main parts of a plant. The students should be able to discuss the functions and plant parts and how to grow new plants. The student will be able to create an infographic detailing how plants grow, and the student should be able to identify how plant growth relates to a sustainable environment. So first, looking through the home page of my course, I chose to use Canvas. It's a very collaborative environment that is easy for students to use and navigate through. Um, and it also has inspiration through group discussions and people, so they're able to talk to each other if they need any help or with me. And any prerequisite knowledge is just knowledge that they've known from previous science classes or just common sense. So here we can see I'm logged in as the student view, and we're going to go walk through the activity that I created. So I created an introduction page at first so that students can read through what I designed this course to do. Like I said before, by the end of this, they'll be able to identify each plant part along with the processes each plant cycle goes through growth and what a sustainable environment is. So next they're going to click on next so that they can go to the first assignment. And here what I created first was for students to be able to watch a video that's about 15 minutes long, but they have down here specific things that I'm looking for so that they can walk through the video and take detailed notes. These will be used for the quiz that follows shortly after, and the submission for their notes will be up here in the submission box, and I want a text box entry for that or a picture of their notes. So after clicking next, we'll move on to the next activity within, and that's the quiz. Like I said before, students will be able to use their detailed notes from the video before, so they're allowed 2 attempts and it is timed. So looking through the quiz, I have certain ones that pertain to the learning objectives that I want the kids to understand and develop these learning skills. So after they take their quiz, we have some fill in the blank, true and false. After the quiz, the students will move on to another activity where they will create an infographic on plant growth. So now that they've learned about the plant parts and how to grow new ones, they're going to take all of this information together to see how a plant actually grows. So I gave the students some outside links to more information that they can use for their infograph, and the activity is to build an infograph to display what they've learned on the video and quiz, and separately what they have pulled from these websites. They must post their findings, and below is an example of one. And then I told them they need to comment on 2 of them, one good thing, one bad thing, so that they can get constructive criticism from their peers. Following this is the final assignment, where it kind of brings it all together and pulls what they've learned from the activities and quizzes into a final discussion. So they're going to construct 1 to 2 paragraphs on the last 3 assignments and how it pertains to a sustainable environment. So they'll need to find a definition of sustainable environment and why plant growth is so important. Here I use a rubric to discuss how students did on this. I think this is the best assessment tool. This also ties into the formative and summative assessments used. So this is more of a summative assessment that I used for the students, kind of a overall look on how they've done. and my formative was the quiz that we took earlier in the note taking. The assessments itself align perfectly with the learning activities and objectives because it has to do directly with the content and how well they were able to provide this to not only the teacher but to other students, and if it was sustainable enough to create plausible work and educate others on their findings. Anything future that I would fix to this, I would probably make a more interactive activity with an online virtual activity of students actually creating a plant. I think it would be a great way for students to actually do things hands-on but through a virtual platform since this is an online course. And I would love to add more group work just to inspire more collaboration. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed my e-learning activity.